Catching up with Sarah and Ginny, fueled by laughter and insights aplenty. Curiosity, connection, and learning that sticks. Real talk, real lives with practical tips. Welcome to Catching Up with Sarah and Ginny. Come on in.
Well, welcome, Stephen. Here we are at the Schools and Academies show, and it's absolutely fabulous to meet you. If you can tell us a little bit about what you do, please, that would be great.
Yep. So I am the co-founder and CEO of Solihull, which is like there. Solihull Alternative Provision Multi-Academy Trust. We opened with a free school on 2/3 of a site in an industrial estate in the south of Solihull. Which is called Shirley. And that is where our main offices are for the trust now, with our biggest AP academy. So we have 3 academies now and 7 sites. So we've been open just over 7 years and have 7 sites to show for it across the combined authority and the HS2 traffic route. That's kind of where we are. So we've got 4 sites in Solihull, 2 sites in Coventry, and 1 site now in Warwickshire, with a free school pending in Warwickshire as well.
Wow, and it's really interesting you saying about being on an industrial estate, because I've heard of another school that's done that. If you can just tell me, how did that come about? Because I'm fascinated.
Well, the true story is that was, I think it was Mace was the mini Quango that did the property acquisitions for the DFE and for free schools. And Mace had 2, I think it was Mace, had 2 lined up. One was in town center Solihull, directly across from the John Lewis, but also next to a very high-priced condominium complex. And then the other was on this industrial estate where I think it's a 12-unit office park, as it were, and 11 of the units were vacant. So they were good to go for the John Lewis, and I believe the legend has it that all the residents of the condominium complex kicked in a bit of money and bought it, so we couldn't put a school there and couldn't put kids in. That's the story. Now, I don't know that I made that up, but somewhere that's come from.
Sorry.
And actually, I mean, where are there more distractions for students than in the town center, which is also right next to the train station and the bus hub and whatnot. So the human geography would have been brilliant in terms of transport,
Yes.
but would have been distracting. Whereas the industrial estate actually surrounds the students with the world of work.
Yeah.
Even post-COVID, they are surrounded by the world of work. Now, human geography in terms of, as a crow flies, Solihull's not that big, but trying to get buses and minibuses and whatnot, access through that has been a challenge that we continue to work with the local authority and the Metropolitan Borough Council on that. But, transport, particularly for special and AP schools, is, if I had it to do all over again, I would have imported a couple of American school buses and just sold myself to the highest bidder, because that's not going away. But it's been a real benefit having, as we do now with 7 sites, all in different sort of geographical setups. One on the industrial estate, one right next to a mainstream school, one right next to a primary school, one connected to the other. We've got all those different permutations.
Wow.
And we're now at the point where we can start to, I don't want to say reshuffle the deck, but actually go, if we did this, then there's a through line of service. There is continuity.
Yeah.
It's for kids, most importantly, but also for staff. And we're kind of getting to that point and working with the regional schools team, who have said, well, discuss it with us, put it to us, and if there isn't a precedent, maybe we can collaborate and find a way to do that. So
wow, and I love that it's always being open to what is needed, isn't it? And actually, I love what Jay Davenport said on one of our podcasts: knowing your blind spots and actually knowing where things may need to change and considering how they can be changed for the better. That is fascinating, isn't it, Sarah?
It's exhausting.
Well, yes, it is exhausting. And actually, Steve, from my own experience, the buses, the transport is one of the most exhausting and the most expensive
And it
aspects.
just
And the
keeps going.
logistics of that, as well as thinking around actually what it's like for the learner and for the young person. Their experience of that is really important. Yeah. Okay, so on to thinking around a recent wow moment for yourself. So it can be anything. It can be something from today. It can be anything.
say that again.
A recent wow moment. Something that made you go, oh, just, and it can be anything,
Oh, there's so many.
of course,
And-
which is
and
fabulous, which is great.
actually, the wow moment is I was off with a significant medical issue for the last 3-4 weeks of term, and then phased back in.
Yeah.
I'm fine now. Don't look at me. I'm gonna be okay. Should he be drinking that? Yeah, no, I'm fine. And I had said it not as a flippant thing, but when we were recruiting for the director of education for the trust, and somebody in their interview had done that. Well, I have these questions for you, but what do you want from this process? And I said, and it wasn't, when I say flippant, it was off the cuff.
Yeah.
Still had value. And I said, what I would love to do is to have a diet of walking into situations that I may have facilitated, but I have not had direct input to, direct influence on even, but have facilitated and put things in place that are better than anything I ever could have come up. And I'm saying that with the context of 7.5 years ago. They hadn't broken ground on our first site. There were no other staff. It was me, a Vauxhall Astra that should have been condemned, a borrowed laptop, a fake website, and a logo drawn on the back of a beer mat from the Windmill Pub in Stratford-upon-Avon.
Nice.
So, I've got 3 boys, and them's my boys, but that was like my baby. And coming back from illness, and not only did the world not stop turning, the world, accelerated and evolved. And I went, holy cow, when did we do, and to have that sense of awe, because I wasn't directly pushing it, to say, well, that's amazing. When did that happen? Well, that the second day after,
Well, how fabulous.
To rediscover the joy of why we do this.
Absolutely.
Because AP is the sharp end of a system that is not funded in particularly well.
Nope.
The specialist estate is full to capacity, and AP is picking up some of that slack. The curriculum review, we are duty bound as that tanker that not stuck in the Suez Canal. We're just small enough to go like that, but always I've been the one kind of with a hand on the wheel, not maybe totally directing traffic. And the fact is that I'm not.
And that's ultimately the goal that we want is anyway, isn't it?
And
that's what our role is really.
You have that trepidation coming back from illness.
Fabulous.
And I just went. Now, of course, there is one logo that everybody loves, but I didn't have any hand in it. And of course, I made up I didn't approve this. You got to hang on to something.
Well,
even that.
I love that.
As soon as the students, for our newest provision, the students showed up and the staff showed up. In there, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's good.
That works.
That's good." So
wonderful.
I had to get over myself.
Yes.
Well,
and find the joy and the awe
and the wow moment of it. Well, thank you. Yeah, I love that. Oh, sorry.
And I think it shows it's embedded when you're not there. It's part of the culture as well, isn't it? And that's really important as well.
We hope so. We believe so.
Yeah, brilliant. So now we need to ask you, if Send were a song, what would it be and why?
Everyday People by Sly and the Family Stone.
Oh, great one. I've not had that one.
Because particularly from an AP standpoint, but actually what I take out of SEND is the N, is that where mainstream colleagues are struggling, where nursery colleagues are struggling, where primary colleagues are struggling, they will say, and rightfully so in many occasions, we cannot meet need. So SEND, and by extension inclusion, is how are we as an individual provision, as a sector, as a system, attempting to meet all needs. And there was a short one, so that's diversity and equality and inclusion. Is we each, and I don't just mean the kids most primary, most importantly, but also in terms of staff retention, staff progression, staff recruitment, and recruitment into the profession. Parents, carers, partners, is that what is the need and how can we meet that need in real time at pace based on accurate information, so that it is we are everyday people. It's just it's normal. It's not, I mean, it's not special. It is what it is.
Yes.
That's I just chaired a panel on the non-existent inclusion white paper that is or is not coming out. And I know the consultations have just dropped yesterday or the day before in terms of those dates. But for me, what my real hope for that paper, and I think the only hope of salvation for this system, is that, I guess, is it Laura Branigan? We are one. That I could throw a lot of different songs in it, because it's not just about need. It's about, doesn't matter if I work for X, Y, or Z, or in this sector or this age group, we are working together collaboratively. Yeah. And does the academization of this system and the fragmentation of the system lend itself to that? Possibly not, because there is a competitive element as well as, I can't work with that AP because they might try to, but actually, if we get it right, then we're all just everyday people. We are a village, no matter now how small or how large, trying to do what's best for every stakeholder. The kids most important.
I think that is brilliant. And I think what you said about accurate information as well. This is a conversation that Sarah and I often have, so I just think it is so thought-provoking what you've said,
I love that Orphan song. We're making a Spotify playlist of all the SEND songs. We have got some interesting choices on there, but also around that, in terms of need, we sometimes focus too much on, and the needs change continuously in every context. So sometimes being too much needs driven, actually thinking about the strengths. Actually, where are we looking at what people's strengths are and building on that? Love that. So the final question, Stephen, is about a book. Now, it's a book that you might recommend. It's either a favorite, it could be a favorite book, an education book, a children's book, any book that when you saw questions or thought about, but what one might have instantly come to mind.
I was going to go Matthew Said, but actually I'm going to go Shel Silverstein, the poet, songwriter, probably most famous for his work with Johnny Cash. He wrote Boy Named Sue. I'm going real old school.
Oh, I'm loving it.
One of the three reasons why I originally shaved my head is, fourth reasons, because my hair was awful, which is the main reason. I thought, if Shel Silverstein can get away with a bald head and a beard, I can. And he was a non-practicing Jew, I believe. He might have been practicing. I don't think he was practicing. And had a friend of his who was a reverend minister, and would invite different guest speakers in to who are non-Christian, to discuss their view of what Christ was or means. Yeah. And Shel Silverstein's response was a book called The Giving Tree.
Oh, yes.
Which is gut-wrenchingly beautiful. And essentially, it's about a tree that the baby and then the young child plays on, and eventually, as the boy grows to be an old man, the tree shrinks from a fully blossoming apple tree all the way down to a stump. And it's about meeting a person at their point of need and giving everything that you can. And I come from a family of truckers, of railway workers, of longshoremen and women, so transport workers and teachers. And it is my fervent belief as to work with children and to be in any way connected with education is a holy thing, it's a sacred thing, it's a vocation, it's a calling, and it's to give of oneself with asking nothing in return quite often. It's like sending, a DVD out into space for alien civilizations. Sometimes you never know if that message lands.
Yeah.
And I am not religious, and I mean, I am reasonably well versed in the Judeo-Christian mythology, but I'm not religious. Although I was raised in a born-again fundamentalist cult. But that's another podcast.
Honestly, Stephen, it's literally, there's so many podcasts.
The beauty of that is, again, is working with staff.
Yeah.
Is that there's no, you're not, and we are a restorative trust. There's no wins in this. The wins are when we make a breakthrough with the child. When a child who can't regulate, co-regulate it. When a child who doesn't understand fractions finally understands that 1/2 means something, and you can't go into this business if it's about you.
Yeah.
Yes, of course, it's about you being fulfilled by it, but by nature to work with anybody's vulnerable, and children are vulnerable regardless of age, stage, ability. To do that sort of work is to give of one selflessly, time, effort, energy, expertise, and to do it right is to expect nothing back, to learn from when you don't get anything back and from those mistakes, and to celebrate when the child or the colleague makes that step, as opposed to it being about yourself. And so I'm going to actually make a phone call to someone today and ask a favor. And she once said, "You are the most Christian, non-Christian leader of a school I've ever seen." And I said, "It's because of the Giving Tree."
Yeah.
It's because of that book.
Fabulous.
In terms of this. Why do we do it? We do it because we do it for the right reason, at the right time, for the right outcome. Not for any sort of payback.
Any payback at all. Yeah.
Because then that becomes the Brucey bonus.
Yeah. The payback, you get something.
And, it happened today. A former student of mine I ran into, haven't seen in years, and she said, "Remember that assembly?" Now, I'm old. And I played combat sports for a long time. I do not remember that assembly. But she does. She took something away from me. And that's why we all get up in the morning and put the boots on and get going, is to make that difference. And I think my concern about systems of education is that the pressures inherent in the English system sometimes makes us forget that.
Yeah. Makes it hard.
There is value. There is a holy thing to give of oneself with no expectation of anything in return. And education is the way I've chosen to do that. And Shel Silverstein is one of my
brilliant.
It was either him or Henry Rollins, and Henry Rollins perhaps not appropriate, the ex-punk singer. For this podcast.
All appropriate. I mean, you've given us so much to take away from this, and that I'm going to be getting that book out. I'm going to be looking.
I think there's a reading of him reading it on Spotify.
Oh, I'm that's it. That'll be absolutely wonderful.
I'll do a reading of it.
Oh, even better. That's why we'll hold you to that. Stephen, thank you so much. That has been
thank you for having me.
Full of some really interesting kind of insights into you, into your profession, into everything. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Gosh, I feel my heart is full as well. Just you just telling us so much and it resonating so much with both of us as well. So thank you so much. It has been an absolute joy. As we always say, Sarah, always a pleasure.
Never a chore.
Hey,
Thank
I really
you.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us this time on Catching Up with Sarah and Ginny.
Always a pleasure and never a chore.